Hello, welcome to the Psalming Effect. My name is John Smith, and I'm posting this meditation from the book of Psalms, specifically from Psalm 19 for the week of July 20th, 2021. And I'll read the verses to begin with. I'm reading from Psalm 19, starting at verse 1. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they reveal knowledge. They have no speech. They use no words. No sound is heard from them. Yet their voice goes out into all the earth, their words to the end of the world. In the heavens God has pitched a tent for the sun. It is like a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, like a champion rejoicing to run his course. It rises at one end of the heavens and makes its circuit to the other. Nothing is deprived of its warmth. Those are the first 6 verses of Psalm 19. And I've probably shared from those before, but it's never a bad idea to meditate from this psalm and those words in particular. I'm actually recording this, not posting this live as I usually do. I'm recording it, and it will be posted on Monday morning to be used by those who follow these posts as a meditation throughout the week. The reason why I'm not posting live is because I'm at home in between 2 weeks of Bible camp that I'm working at. Actually, I'm in my church office at the moment. And but this last week, I woke up at shortly after 4 o'clock, and it was just starting to get light outside. And so I went out and walked out from the cabin where I was staying at the camp to the top of the hill. You know, if I was more tech savvy, I'd show you the picture that I took. Just a beautiful view of the sun rising over Kenosee Lake here in Saskatchewan. Just a beautiful view and a beautiful reminder of the things that this psalm talks about, how God has created things with such splendor. And it's on display for us in so many ways. But you know, what I realized in that moment, it took my breath away how beautiful it was. Well, I've been out at our Bible camp. I don't even want to count how many times. You know, I've worked at camps many summers of my life, most summers of my life really, primarily on the prairies here in Canada, in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and also I participated in a camp in Ontario. Beautiful settings. But when you spend as much time in them as I do, and especially at the camp that I'm at these 2 weeks, sometimes you get so used to seeing what you see that the impact of its splendor gets lost. You know, you get so used to it that it doesn't take your breath away. So it was good for me to be wakened at that early hour and go out and just see the sky as it was lighting up and the lake as it was reflecting it through the trees. Again, I wish I could just show you the picture. There's no way to describe how beautiful it is. You just have to see it. And when you see it, you remember that God created it all, and that day by day, as the psalm says, the world in which we live declares the glory of God. You know, there's a lot that we are concerned about. We're concerned about the climate change. We're concerned about wildfires and dry weather. And ironically enough, severe thunderstorms. We've had some very strong winds. I know there's parts of the world that are suffering from flooding, from hurricanes. There's a lot of things in this world that are dangerous, but something that this world demonstrates day after day with the rising of this and the setting of the sun, and the scenery which it lights up and which it sets aglow with the sunrise and sunset, is the glory and majesty of God. That's what really stands out when you take the time to look. And so this psalm was a good reminder to me. You know, I'm going to be at camp having fun doing things I like to do, teaching the kids from the scriptures and teaching them about Jesus, helping them memorize lots of verses from the Word of God. That's something I always emphasize out at camp. So there'll be lots of that happening. But one of the things I hope I can help the kids to also appreciate, and all of us adults who are out there with them, is to look around at the trees, at the lake, at the sky, at the ground, at the woodchuck that lives under one of the cabins, at the birds that are constantly singing, and to recognize and acknowledge and give praise to God. That's very important. We should never take these things for granted, but unfortunately, sometimes I do, because I just get used to it. It just happens every day. This psalm talks about the sun rising and going across the skies and setting at the other end. And of course, we all know that really has to do with the Earth spinning on its axis and the whole solar system thing. But it's our viewpoint and what we get to see that God has placed us in this system. And it shows his love and his creativity, his artistry, and his majesty. Very seldom do I get to see the sunrise part of it, especially in summer. But today earlier this week was a beautiful reminder of just how majestic that is. So I want to encourage you to read from Psalm 19, read from some other Psalms, meditate, and get outside and appreciate the splendor and the majesty of God that is on display every day. It's up there in the sky, it's out there in your surroundings, in nature, in animals, in the air that you breathe. It's everywhere around you. Even if a storm is swirling around you, and some of the Psalms talk about those things, the raging waters and wind and that kind of thing, even an earthquake, even an avalanche. If you're able to step back and look at its nature, its awe will remind you of God. Don't miss those moments this week. And remember, in 21, he's still the one.